Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
How's
Miss Diana.
everybody on this crazy buck moon? You could almost, it rhymes with.
Oh my goodness. And we're gonna burn some sage,
You are?
more sage, because it's been a little bit.
Listen mode.
This is
I'm,
usually a serious moon because it's Capricorn, and we are releasing something. Um, the moon was exact at 4:36 p.m. at 18 degrees, which is adds up to a 9. So as a full moon that is releasing and purging anyway, where that's like double time because you got a 9, whereas something's going, but
yep.
something's always going, so we can create something new. New stuff can come in. Okay, looks like I have too much sage going. It was a little bit more than I thought. How is everybody tonight? So nice to see everybody. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Janet Bora Bora, always saying happy birthday to me. She's so sweet. Thank you. And I saw it was somebody's granddaughter's
Oh,
birthday, Jane Lairmore. Why
I
can't I
missed
say
your
her
birthday.
name? What's that?
Did I miss your birthday?
No, no, it's not till Tuesday, but it's all right. They just kind of come and go these days. But
Yeah, you're
Jane,
kind of reaching age.
yeah, Jane's granddaughter's birthday's on my birthday. I think that's cute. A certain dark leader is said to be leaving this month. Yeah, and I think this is the day that really starts to um, be unraveled because this is a that's what Saturn does. Saturn is in a lot. Saturn is the systems. The patriarchy. That was the old Saturn, though, and the way I'm getting it is that the from Saturn being in Pisces for 3 years, he was restructured. So a lot of what is not life affirming, not raising in frequency, is going to. I mean, it's just happening every day. It really is already being exposed and removed. Um, but this is going to amplify that, and it also being a 9 is really speaking to that to me. What about you, Diana?
So much of this chart is speaking to me because we have these mystic rectangles
Mhm.
that are, you know, we can all foresee the future.
Yeah, we
This
can.
is supporting what we see and what we know, and the the downloads we've gotten about all of this BS. But that doesn't mean that we can take action on any of it yet.
Right. That's the thing.
Right.
No action just yet, but there is going to be this pop. I feel it's popping off point. Let me get us. I'm sorry, I didn't have us on the phone. Let's see. We can say hi to Bora, Jane, Grace. Nice to meet you, Grace.
Yep.
Gina's place.
Billy, Billy,
Millie. Yeah, Millie. Millie's here. Pamela Anderson.
heavenly
And
blessing.
Heavenly Blessed Honey. It's so good to just have y'all here with us. We love hanging out with y'all. My goodness. I want to start with Cancer first. Janet Bora Bora did ask me to do this the other day. Talk about the Cancer energies. And in a full moon, we have Cancer as the sun and Capricorn as the moon, and they're right across from each other, and they're across from each other on the wheel. Each sign on the wheel has its opposite, and Cancer is nurturing, caring, compassionate, the mother, the home. And this is really a good point for this moon because it's all about restructuring the home. Is that you in your body, your home, your actual home? We're all being upgraded, and I think we can all say that here on our um, internally, our home, our inside, our connection to spirit is growing, and it's becoming more comfortable, and that's kind of the point with Cancer and Capricorn, because even though Cancer is known for being very intuitive and very psychic, right? Well, they're right across from the wheel from each other. And Capricorn's known as the leader, the boss, the one that gets things done, doing things, but they're instinctively doing that through their intuition, through their feelings. That's how they can take care of so much stuff. But they don't like show, they're not to show their feelings. It's so natural for them that I don't think a lot of them know. I mean, unless they're into astrology, how on point they are when it comes to business or leadership. They're the teacher, they're the mentor, they're the they always have a prominent position.
Well,
But
he's
go, go ahead.
Capricorn is also the father figure.
The father, yeah,
And
mother is Cancer, so you see it's constant boom, boom.
the the home is not a business. However, you have business at the home.
There is, but it is. I mean, for real, it is. When mothers would take care of the home, that is a big deal. We just
Well,
never got
right.
the credit for it.
But you also have to pay the bills that keep the home
Exactly.
moving.
So
You
that's
know?
why they're
So, right. So that's how that father mother figure works together.
right.
And chores used to be ever so defined through some of the centuries, not all of them. Because women were out in the fields with their husbands and husbands were in the kitchen with their wives.
Right.
And
And you had to, right? You had to work together for you to survive.
right. When it and in the Vikings, they were warring on the field together.
Yeah.
Women were on the field, men were on the field, husbands and wives were on the field together, fighting in battles.
Well,
So
that brings a good point up because it is about safety and security.
yeah, we defend this home together. We pay for
Right.
these things together. I pick up the slack here, you pick up the slack there. That
Hmm.
started to drift apart with the golden age when that whole I'm too weak Victorian ah, by one of the women who was the strongest standing up on her own 2 feet, Queen Victoria.
Mm.
Please, the fairer sex. Which one of us can't take care of ourselves, right? We don't need a man for that. We need a man because we love him. We don't love him because we need him.
Well, then we could go into divine feminine and divine masculine and how
Right.
things have been distorted there. And that's the thing. All of this distortion is coming up to be examined so we can readjust it into actually a harmonious balance for everybody. Because once we get through that, and that's going to be, as we raise in frequency. But the thing with Capricorn and Cancer and that safety and security in that home, right? We had the last new moon in Cancer, and we have this full moon in. So we were planting seeds back then. We got the full moon in Capricorn now. But the thing that's been going on, the underlying vibe on this planet has been pretty much attacking our nervous systems, our safety and security. Um, it's been hard to, constantly readjusting ourselves and grounding our energy. And it's something we're going to have to keep doing. But that's going on too as all these light codes come in. We are being upgraded, and so is our nervous system. Do you feel that too, Diana?
Absolutely. Our physical system and
Yeah,
our nervous system is both emotional and physical.
and
When
physical.
we're sick, we become emotional. When we
Yeah,
become emotional, we get sick. They are tied together.
yeah,
And the nervous system can just be an itchy skin. Is
yeah.
that allergy or viral or fungal or
Mm-hmm.
bacterial? So there's so many different causes for that because we absorb through our skin just as we absorb through what we eat and drink.
No, yeah. And so much is well, I have this cool little adjustment of our nervous system, and if we have time, we'll go into it because it was a little bit of a, my goodness, now I don't know where it is. It'll pop back up. I have too many papers.
Well,
But this, go ahead.
I was just going to say part of what is the nervous system is we have Uranus
Yeah,
and Sedna.
absolutely.
Uranus at 0, Sedna at 1, Venus at 6 degrees of Gemini. And they're all clinging to each other
Yeah,
by strings. They're like balloons tangled together with helium in them.
yes.
And we're carrying this load. Doesn't matter what house, it really doesn't. But
Mm-mm.
through the course of the day, you can feel the difference in emotions because of those three. What is
Yeah.
Uranus? I want it now. Can't have it. Sedna is sacrifice and adaptation, and you can't adapt in a minute. You have to feel your way around it. And what is Venus? Venus is the feeler, right?
What we
And
love inside.
she
Yeah.
rules signs. She rules fellow air sign Libra as well as ruling Taurus, where Sedna had just gotten out of a couple years ago, and that where Uranus just came from. So that lock together is putting all of those tangled balloon threads in a place where think about those threads as your nervous system. And every 2 hours, you can be triggered into a new emotion because of it.
Yeah, and I think we can all feel that. We can all agree to that. That's something that's important. We were just on here the other day when Uranus entered Gemini. We had a show, and we were talking about that then. It is going to be very important as that Gemini. Gemini is so fast. I mean, those are two air signs. Well, Uranus rules Aquarius, which is an air sign. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and it is going to be brilliance just pouring in. You're going to have ideas. You're going to want to do. That is that is kind of what this Capricorn full moon is making room for, to remove the things that aren't going with us. Every full moon is about releasing something, and this is big though. This is the structure of our life. Like Capricorn really is the structure of our life. It's what you do every day, the place you go to the grocery store, the gas, the everything that you have lined up for your life from A to Z is Capricorn creating a structure. And that structure is always evolving, right? And we're always finding new ways or better ways or a different place that's has
Yeah.
more things that we like, whatever it is, it's always evolving. And so we're closing out the things that we know aren't working. There may be things we are going to be surprised on that oh, I didn't know that was leaving. But with Capricorn, you pretty much know what's working and what's not for you. And that comes into where we are, the ability to create that new. with that Gemini, that Uranus and Gemini, with those brilliant new ways of finding this is a new store, or this new insurance. I mean, there's so many things that we have that support us through our daily lives, every day, and that's that Saturn, that Capricorn of us. And that's another thing. Um, Saturn rules Capricorn, and Saturn in 3 days on the 13th is going to start his retrograde. So he's going to go back into, he's just at, what's he at, 2 degree Aries?
With Mercury, besides, they're both
Yeah,
going.
and he's just going to go back to Pisces because there's something that still needs to be reevaluated.
Right.
And that's going to be really cool. But this is all so we can become more in our power, more empowered in our personal power. Because as we're in this creating these new, we're recreating ourselves, remembering ourselves at the same time, and all these new parts of us are coming in these new energies, in this new era that we're creating. And all of this new information is just going to really start popping off. But it's going to be this year, right? It's slow. All of these planets, these outer planets, are not moving far. There are a lot of, and most of them are retrograding this year. So it's going to be that we need to take that time to really evaluate what is it that will make your life, that vision that you see, that dream that you have, right? The wishes that a lot of us limit ourselves because we say, oh, I'm too old, or I don't have enough money or enough time, and that's not what these energies are asking us. They're asking us to go through those and still choose the life that you want to create going forward.
So so if we look at those three together, our tangled balloons in our nervous
Mhm.
system, because this is important,
That is.
because they're going to be together for, especially Sedna and Uranus are going to be together for quite some time. Sedna is going to be in Gemini for 40 years, and Uranus is going to be there for 6. So they're going to be, buffering each other. So Uranus is a fixed planet. Sedna, though not addressed rulership to any of the signs, it's mutable. Why? Because it is adaptation and sacrifice. So, you have to get rid of this in order to that and things of that nature. That makes it mutable. And then we have Venus coming in at cardinal, whether she is in Libra or Taurus, and those are the two signs that she rules. So, with that in mind, she's like, but you got to have this and you got to do it this way, and because it's got to have love attached to it, and without it you're not going to get anywhere. And
Mhm.
Uranus is over there fixed, and right now it's fixed on the idea that we have to go forward in a humane way. Well, that
Yeah.
incorporates love, but Uranus, what else does she like to do? Electricity. So here's the buffer in the middle is
Well,
Sedna, reminding them both it is give and take, it is give and take, it is give and take.
and that give and take, is, like you said, is going to play out for a while. I just looked up Sedna so we could get a. Sedna is our inner power. Okay, just like Capricorn is our inner power, right? This is a different. I mean, she's this is she represents the magic of our soul that lives within us all and is always there guiding us and helping us to find our way. But
Yeah.
she's going to be in one sign for 40 years. So think of the reconstruction going on there, for somebody who we won't even, I probably won't be here at least at the end of her sojourn through Gemini. But Gemini
I'm not
is
saying nothing.
Gemini is quick and brilliant and
But
fast, and it's like, let's pull this all together. Let's have fun now.
that's
This is
it.
all about fun and friends and
Well,
life,
she's all
right?
about that mutable, and she's in a mutable sign. And
Right.
so, therefore, she is ready to adapt and sacrifice to adapt. And she's going to do that every step of the way. And don't forget that each 30 degrees of a sign represents a decade, like a 10-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to the final stretch there from, you know, 23 degrees to back to that 29 degrees and 59 minutes, it doesn't matter if you're 30 or 60 because you're in that mature place and you understand and have a better understanding. So as she goes through that sign,
Sorry. I'm just-
am I
okay.
scaring you?
I was getting all blurry. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. But yeah, no, it's and well, actually, that's kind of an interesting thing that just happened as I was getting blurry. That's what happens when we're being transformed. You kind of lose your solid identity, right? It's like you become you're transforming into something. I mean, of course it's you, but it's even better because you're pulling in these these higher aspects of yourself. And to me, this is what's going on with ascension. And I gotta say this about, I heard this today. I thought it was the coolest thing. This guy was talking about ascension, and he said that's when we're traveling up to the fifth or higher dimensions. But there's also this thing as in ascension, in session, where you go in, and I can't say the word, and you become more of who you are, which is kind of what's all going on at one time. More of our higher self is coming in as we shed and we purge and we release all that is not us to
Right.
to create this new version of us, but it's the version of us that's always been there. It just hasn't had the ability in the density of our most of our lives here. That veil wasn't as thin as it is now, and that veil opens up, and more of us, we're all talking to our higher selves or our spirit team or somebody as guidance. And that's another thing. Capricorn is the mentor, the guide, the the teacher, the leader, So that we all have, I'm saying it like that because we all have aspects of each sign in us. We are all that astrology wheel. It just in the different houses, and I mean just different things conjunct with other. I mean, in aspect to other things. So, but we all do take control of our lives, and that is a big thing with Saturn. That is what we do. Our we are our own sovereign being, and as we release more, and this one too is about we're completing. There's an ending to something, and I feel a lot of it in our community is the ending of a lot of the we're graduating spiritually. A lot of the old uh, stories we know are not for us, and we are evolving out of that. And we're releasing what's holding us back because we're conscious. We've become more and more and more conscious. Hi, Sherry, voices from the swamp. Good to see you. And Garnet, good to see you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have the old is ending, old, and that old that is ending. I mean, for most of my life, I was entangled with how, as many of you were too, as society dictates, right? Well, as that society is being changed, and that's a big thing that's going on with this full moon in Capricorn. To me, that foundation, the capitalistic patriarchy, that foundation is being, it's breaking up. And here we are, together, even though we're individually focusing on ourselves, but as we all individually focus on ourselves, we create a new collective under a better, um, uh, I don't want to even call it a system, under a better, how would you say that? What's the word I'm looking for? Under a new way of being in this world without having to be there's somebody up here, somebody's over you at all times, or has control of you or your money. It's like, especially in America, we're taught to work, 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 pay these bills. I heard today Americans make 80 trillion a year. You don't think we can afford health care and just by us working?
That's just it. Our It's the individual basis, and it's overcharged
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
individual.
Hmm.
And there is no word for it. We need to work as 60 people, and that is partnership. To love thy neighbor as thyself. Some of the first
Yeah,
rules of life.
yeah,
We know that as light workers.
yeah. And we see that beautiful light. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
How do we get back to the garden?
Ah, I love that. Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That that's where it is. I mean,
yeah.
what dragged us out of there, and how did it all happen? Well, we can talk about all the eras and all the stars, but there were enablers along the way.
Hmm.
And those enablers are heading into a place where the comeuppance is going to happen.
Yeah. Yes, Grace, a sovereign system indeed. And that is coming through, but we have to, the old has to be destroyed. I mean, if I think if more Americans understood, because I didn't know that until today, that America generates by its workforce, and that's the biggest commodity here is us. And they're acting like we don't have any, we don't have anything to do with it. 80 trillion a year,
It's
we
us who
could
did it to them.
we could have an infrastructure that is, I mean, the future.
We used to,
Yeah,
till that golden age,
yeah.
till the innovation generation, because then everything became big business. Tesla, prime example.
Well, yeah,
Because electricity was better than Edison's, but you
yes,
didn't make any money off of Teslas. And so that's why they went with Edison.
Edison's. That's
And
right. And
that's
this,
not taken away from the genius of Edison, but what a shit show circus.
right. And it didn't have to be this way. It
No.
didn't. And they silenced Tesla. That's they silenced people even today who come out with these brilliant innovations. You can run a car on hydrogen water, basically, and these people disappear. So that part of the dark part of our reality, and I go into this probably every time we get together, that 26,000 years we have been infiltrated by a very small uh, group of heartless and soulless individuals that um, prevent humanity from evolving. I mean, but just think how far ahead we would be if that 80 trillion a year was going to being infused back into our society. But they want to kill Mother Earth. They want to kill the water, the air, the soil. I mean, they have basically. They've
Yeah.
pushed it to the edge. And now that one, what is that in the Arctic, Diana, where the water, oh, what the hell is that called? It's it just I just heard it yesterday where the current stopped.
Oh,
The current. And once those currents stop, that's I mean, that's Mother Earth saying I can't do no more, and I
No,
don't.
that's you're saying I'm going to take it away from all y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, you're right.
You're partaking in what they're doing, but we don't have a choice.
Yeah, and she knows that. She knows that we don't have a choice. But somebody, something. I mean, and Mother Earth is a massive being, is got to stop the abuse on her, the abuse towards her and towards all life on her. And this is where we're at, because we're at this point of ascension where we can't grow with that hanging on us, with
Right.
the nefarious crap constantly on every aspect of our lives. It's just constantly there. And this is what I was getting the last 2 weeks about this Capricorn full moon, was that is being, I mean, that's coming up to be restructured. Just like Saturn was restructured the last 3 years in Pisces, this is the part that it starts to be restructured for Earth and humanity. You know, it's a interesting. It's going to be interesting to see it play out, and I do believe this. I believe that when we ascend, we are going to ascend with our bodies and Mother Earth intact. And some people are going to choose not to go on a soul level. I'm not, and it's going to be like this split. And everybody goes, well, what does that mean? Well, that split, there's beings all around us right now we can't see in dimensions. I mean, Diana, how many beings do you speak to on different levels of, you know what I'm saying? So
I
that's,
know.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
But they all answer me. I know for one thing, there's at least 33 trillion angels times 150 to the 144th power.
wow. I love that. I mean, and they're everywhere. It's all around us, right? It's just that we have been suppressed, and that veil, and there was like a lock. And the way my guide showed me, it was a frequency fence that kept us down into this. Well, now that's been coming up, and look how many of all of you here can see through it. All of you here know that there's more to life than what we have been shown, and that's
Well,
got to be more the norm. Like, more people have got to understand that.
and this is a prime full moon, buck
Mm.
moon, with the Cancer sun, mother, father, divine masculine, divine feminine, perfect example of what we need to get back to. Allowing the space for the divine feminine brings back the divine masculine. And that's just the simple basics of life.
Right.
Oh, I can
I,
thank you, Millie.
I didn't know. That's so cool, Millie. Thank you. That is so cool,
It's
Diana. You got
explain,
that.
that right there explains his dedication to what he knew was the right thing. I mean, there's lots of other stuff in his chart, I'm sure, but that's not that love of humanity. Well, why not create this for free? We could have free electricity for everybody. Think of what the world would be like that way. Nope, we got to make money off of it.
I
Make
mean,
money off of it.
yeah, can you imagine what it's going to be like? How, I mean, and here we are, you know, um, billionaires looking for places to stick their data centers that suck up energy. The energy sucks up the water, all the water in the area, and they're just, it's, we all know what's going on, but I want to really emphasize this is the time where things start to break apart. And Diana and I've said this for a couple years. It's gonna be bumpy. I didn't even realize it was going to be this bumpy, but here we are, and it is going to be bumpy, and that's okay, because we know we have that vision. That's the most important thing, is that vision, that Aquarius vision, that Uranus vision, that Neptune vision, that says, I see a world where we all live in peace and harmony and nobody's being abused, especially Mother Earth, and none of
Well,
us.
Jupiter is in Aquarius, giving him some ability to detach. And
Jupiter,
Aquarius,
Pluto. Oh,
oh,
it's okay. It's one of those days for sure. I don't
well,
know where it is
that's
where.
because my Jupiter is in Aquarius and Pluto's sitting on it. That's why, sorry guys.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, Pluto is in Aquarius, and Pluto now can step back and detach, and he's going to sit there like this for a while and
Mhm.
watch the shit play out. Excuse my French.
Mhm.
Okay, and Uranus in Gemini, who is the ruler of Aquarius, fellow air sign, he is at this place, okay, I'm going to detach a little bit also. I have to. He understands that for once, and he doesn't have to be, he's going to detach and do what he has to do without emotion.
Well, and yeah, because well, and Pluto can do that though, right? But Pluto
Well,
in
so
in
can Uranus.
right in yeah, and in the because they're doing it for the betterment of all. I mean, it's not like they're not emotionally. Well, I don't know. Pluto is, death and rebirth, and it is evolve or die. Are you? And I think we have been pushed by these dark entities for so long that there really is nowhere to go. And the sad part is the only way for them to keep going the rate they're going is for us to die,
Yep.
or a
Well,
majority of us to die.
and this is why he's sitting here like this. He's retrograde. Let's not lose sight of the
Pluto,
fact that he's
yeah,
retrograde. So,
yeah,
he's not going back into Capricorn, but he's going to be damn close enough.
yeah, yeah,
Going to be within what, 35 minutes
yeah.
arc
35 minutes,
for
yeah.
Capricorn. He's not leaving Aquarius.
Mm.
He's going to stand in that 0 degree power.
Zero. He's
Yeah,
gonna come back hard when it hits zero, boy. Yeah,
that's when he's going to make the changes. And
yeah,
for the most part, I think that, hold on to your hats till October, kids.
yeah. At least October, and it's
Yeah,
it's okay.
when we hit Libra.
Right. I mean, we've talked about preparing, having, just first and foremost, take care of your nervous system, your vagus nerve. Take care of
Yeah,
you.
the sympathetic nerve.
Yeah,
You,
I'm
you
not
got
sure which one now.
parasympathetic nerve. Yeah, ones that run down the whole part of your body, up
Hmm.
your cheeks, across, and down the sides of your body, down the front of your legs.
Yeah, we're watching some horrific stuff going on, Jane. I mean, it's just I didn't I would have never seen anything get this bad, but here we are. It doesn't mean I know. I certainly don't know everything, but I do see and feel the energies, and this is at its breaking point. They've already allowed too many humans to die for their greed, too many animals, too much of
Money,
life.
money.
Hmm. And and here's what Sherry said. I just read where a woman in her 50s borrowed 50 grand in school loans and now owes over
Yeah,
700,000.
what
And
the
Duncan
heck?
has taken away the program to repay the loans. It shouldn't even be set up as predatory lending in the first place. I
And
don't know how we got to this. We're the only nation, advanced quote unquote nation, that charges their citizens for health care and an education. I mean, it is infuriating to me. Hi, Priscilla. Full moon blessings to you. There is no excuse. And grocery prices are outrageous. I just went to the store today. I was like, what in the world? Yes, Grace. It's always been bumpy here on Earth for 26,000 years. But at this point in time, where we're raising in frequency and we're entering that golden age, we are entering into a higher consciousness age. It's not just going to be immediately, hey, there we are. But, well, my guide just said, well, yeah, once the frequency jumps, so do you. You know, so, but we're here to see this part of it play out. I mean, we've had a lot of lifetimes here, excuse me, where we all have suffered at the hands of these few, you know, and we have to watch each other suffer and our family suffer. I'm sick of it myself, and I hope Capricorn's coming in with Pluto, all of them, knocking them out of here. You know, as wealthy as our country is, there is no excuse why we don't have free higher education. And you work in education, Sherry. You know this is true. Universal health care and free medication. Absolutely.
The other things with this tangled nerve system in Gemini is about speech,
Yeah.
talking, and
Really.
what is being taken away from us? Freedom of speech.
Yeah, see, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna make it if they keep pressing on us, because okay, I understand the light workers, love workers, energy workers are doing their thing, holding the light, holding space, holding unconditional love and truth. Um, there's, you know, everybody has their way of being an activist, right? Either by protesting in person, signing petitions, sending money into different organizations. But look, we've been doing that for how long? 40 years. We've been sending the Dems money or send this money and they, I'm not saying the Dems are fully like Republicans at all. I'm not saying that. But my God, they're not doing much. They anybody with eyes could have seen this coming. I'm not even a political person and been watching it disintegrate for 30, 40 years. You know, I mean, I know of what's going on, but I'm not like heavily political. And that's to me is, you know, we've all been duped by both parties. Why are we even have two parties? We have a country that, why can't we just do the best for this entire nation and all life on her? You
Well,
know?
the only person who's going to have
And
any success starting a third party is someone we don't like.
I don't think that's gonna go for. I mean, I don't know. If people are
I,
still falling for this crap, I guess maybe, I don't know. Um, where did that there is no excuse, especially if we, I mean, that number is just blowing my mind. Americans made this nation $80 trillion last year, and we have, and he wants to take everything away and take all these programs away. And what are we paying for? What are we paying for? No, we would have no infrastructure to keep helping wealthy billionaires and corporations. Corporations are people. That's where our downfall really started, and everybody knew that this was going to be the end result. You know, so this is what we have to watch fall apart. But at the same time, we're going to build it back together, and we're going to build it back better at about a year or two. What do you think?
well, I mean, I see that happening, but
It's not going to be right away.
the
No.
sludge we have to walk through.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come on here and depress everybody. This is what goes through my mind all day, and they're showing me literally the foundation, the earth beneath our feet crumbling, and telling me that patriarchy is being taken out and capitalism is going with it. So I get excited about that. I'm excited about it. I wish that we didn't have to suffer. Nobody at all had to suffer. Hi, Jim B. Visionary Gal.
Well,
toffee.
Here's why we're talking about this. The rising sign right now is Capricorn. The
What
moon's in Capricorn, and the rising sign right now is Capricorn,
is it?
approaching the
Oh,
moon.
okay. And so what's Capricorn saying to us? That's right. This shit gotta go.
Infrastructure.
She gotta go. I mean, it's that's you can't make that up. I love it. I
No,
love
you
it.
can't.
You said that.
But a lot of what we see here in the middle has broken up. And that's because a lot of this fancy stuff, this cat's cradle here in the middle, is with the south node and the north node and the moon and the sun. And because they move quickly, the moon and the sun, so
Hmm.
the sun's degrees really haven't changed. Its minutes of arc has, and so has the moon, and so has the rising sign. And you can witness it right here with us, and how it has,
I
you
love
know,
that.
ebbed and flowed
I love
as
it.
we go through the degrees of that Capricorn rising.
And the cool thing that Diana just pointed out was she brought up the North Node. The North Node is our collective humanity, the collective's way forward. We are heading, and we're in the Pisces North Node, where
Yes.
we're dreaming, reimagining our entire reality and making it into something else. I mean, astrology says that to us. That's why I go on about this, because this is going to be. Hi, Rossi. Rossi's a Capricorn rising. Well, this is your minute, your hour or two in in the chart, and it, this is this is the way that it's got to all crumble. I kept
Yeah.
getting that word too, that word crumble, and
Well, the Swiss Alps are helping us out. You know, there's a glacier ridge that's going to break off if it hasn't already. So all of that glacier that crumbled to get this whole thing started, and then two more ridges have crushed towns in the Swiss Alps, all in
mm,
succession of that very first one in Blatten. And then we've got Mount Rainier going off, and
mhm,
that's on this side, and we've got another one going off um, in down by Mexico, I think. I can't remember where it is, but it's like we're getting the Bermuda Triangle just in a different part of the Bermudas.
wow, wow.
So
Hi, it's enough.
there's just a lot of stuff going on. That we've got one kite with the south node at the top and the north node at the bottom, and that south node is in orb of conjunction with Mars. So the south node's at 20, Mars is at 13, and Mars is
Right.
moving faster, and it is getting closer and closer to a very tight conjunction. So that's at the top of the kite one way. Then when you look at it the other way, we got the moon and the sun with the nodes on either side. And Juno is involved in both of those. And what is Juno and what are our hopes? Partnerships with somebody
Mhm,
new.
mhm. Well, or leadership. In a lot of respects, that could be new leadership. That is somebody who is actually connected to their heart and their soul. Um,
Thank you, Sherry. And I love your icon there, your avatar.
this is so cool.
So you.
And the oh goodness, my brain just went. Oh, that Mars was being trining this full moon, and that trine is a good thing. But as Diana was talking about, it's clicking up to that south node. The south node is where we release, where things, the past, everything's going out the south node. So anything that you want to release today, and I do suggest we all have a list, or I would do something big, especially pertaining to the structure of your life. Release what you know isn't going, and see it going out that south node, because Mars wants that action. Virgo wants it to heal, right?
Right.
discern it, and discernment, and what is not working for you, and be honest about that. And then take this one and burn out whatever that is, and then call in an action, and call in an intention, that action that you can take to that. Well, I don't know where I got that. Self-respecting action I can take. I wrote that down. I don't know why. Here it is. A legacy intention. I really like this. It was about, okay, release an outdated belief, and then call in a legacy intention. And it had this a little ceremony with water. You put a little honey and cinnamon in it and drink that. And I thought that was a really cool idea. That was sounds, the honey will bring in this.
This is a perfect um, ritual that you just mentioned to do with this mystic rectangle that we have in the sky. Because again, the mystic rectangle is incorporating the south node with Mars over to the sun in Cancer, down to the north node with in Pisces, over to the moon in Capricorn. Okay? And then there's a little cattywampus one right next to it that kind of overlays it, that brings in Vulcan
Mhm,
and
mhm,
Selene, which is the gift giver of the white moon, the lightest
mhm,
part of the moon, right? Rather than black moon Lilith. And so these mystic rectangles, this is where meditation and journaling and trust your gut and ask your questions and get your cards out, get your coppers out, use your pendulum, play with all your toys, all your tools.
mhm. All the tools. Yeah.
Trust what you get.
Yeah.
Trust what you get, because we're all getting that same thing. And all of us here, and the majority of us are all skilled in all of those things. We're all empaths and light workers. You wouldn't be here if you wouldn't. If
That's
you
right.
So trust your gut. This is a perfect time to trust. Self
Yeah. Yes.
self reliance knows you got to put your mask on first before you can help anybody else.
Thank you. And commit to you. Okay, this is about us committing, because that's how we're going to help other people. And Dinah's so right about that. You got to be a leader of your own life.
Mm.
Take charge of it. I mean, these is big. These are big life decisions. This is work, balance, goals, structure, um, emotional maturity. This is the thing. Once you're at that understanding of using, the opposite opposing sign. Cancer is very emotional. Now, not all cancers are emotionally mature. I was not for a very long time, I'll be honest. But once you get to that, right, and you start to integrate both sides of the chart, both from across from each other, you really create this optimal being that you didn't even know what's available to you until you peeled off all the crap underneath.
Right.
Um,
We're just
and then,
masking your emotions. They were there, but
yeah,
just did things to mask. We all do that.
yeah. I was a young. I was a little bit out there, but uh, I have what is worth pursuing long term.
So
That's
was I.
important. What
There's
is im-
so was I. There's 17-year-old Diana.
what? That looks
Yeah.
like James Joplin.
Hell yeah. And then I can also look like another one.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I was like, well, how dare she make make it big before me, right? And then there is
I
this
can't
gal,
see everybody. Thank you, Janet. Thank you so much.
and there's 40-year-old me.
Oh, look at you. I swear to God, the first picture was Janis Joplin.
Yep. And back in those days, I looked like Cher.
Wow. Check you out, Hardy.
Yeah. Once
That
upon
is
a time, we
that
were
is
all teenagers.
that is so cool. I don't know why. Okay, I'm not good. I'm not seeing everybody on my screen chat, but my phone has more people. I'm sorry if I'm not seeing everybody. Um, where'd she go? Oh, Kim. Hi, Kim. And
Oh,
thank you again, Janet. You're so sweet.
speaking
That
of,
isn't she? That is a lovely picture. She is beautiful.
oh, thank you. But speaking of Kim, we need to all get together and keep Kim Copeland in our hearts. And
Yeah,
she has two aneurysms that must have immediate surgery. So if sometime through the night, after, we'll say a little prayer here if you all don't mind. But time
absolutely.
through it, through your evening, keep giving her, keep sending her healing light so that she gets through this fine.
Yeah, Gina, you're absolutely right. And think about that. That big ugly bill was passed during that same time.
Yep.
It's not going to remain the same. Trust me on that. And they're
Yeah.
not going to tell us any good news, right? That their whole point, the cruelty is the point. The traumatizing us is the point. So just
So,
because we're not hearing it from them, don't think that behind the scenes things aren't going on.
well, to answer this question, so it was Mercury is still going forward when he got the funding. So as he goes backwards, he's going to, as Mercury goes backwards, he
Hmm.
will be going over it all and continuing to feed money into there, whether he's doing it with crypto or whatever he's doing it with. Then, when he begins to go forward, he'll have enough to really get things in motion. Think about it, it's going to be closer and closer to the midterms. So, he wants to have everything in place by next year.
Who?
Musk.
Musk? I don't think not too many people. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking not many people will fall for it, but maybe so. I don't know.
I think all of that mega that's going to dump him from Texas and Arizona and Florida and all the places, South Carolina, all the places that he has not helped.
Will follow Musk?
Well,
Yeah.
follow Musk because
But still, I mean, if we're real about the percentage of how many MAGAs, because he didn't win. All going to come out too eventually. But I'd say I always get like 32% of the voting population is MAGA. I don't know. What do you feel? Who
oh,
knows?
it's,
Mm.
they do not have they're just louder and noisier
Yeah.
and random.
Yeah. Everybody's.
Random with their signs, random with their trucks, random with their this, that, and the other thing. So it
Mm,
looks like there's more of them because they're taking up more air.
oxygen. Yeah. Yeah. I
Think of
agree.
us just sitting in our house, keeping our mouths shut and going on and voting for who we want to vote. There's more of us.
Yeah, there is, and I do believe love. Love and truth is gonna win. I mean, uh,
That's perfect. Ah,
I keep feeling that Trump will be gone by the end of the year. Don't know why.
yeah.
Yeah, I get sooner. Well,
Well,
that's not too far away
the,
now.
the lucky things in his chart are over with.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how he got past that Uranus Mars square, but I don't know. Again, I just heard you just said things going on behind the scene. He is going through a lot of hell. Apparently, like physically, I guess.
But
I don't.
just listen to him talk.
Yeah, he's.
Y'all haven't heard it. Was it maybe it was with Adam Mockler's show a little while ago. Anyways, he's sitting in the Oval office talking to all these gentlemen, and one is from Nigeria or Liberia, somewhere in Africa, and Trump's and he's a black man, and Trump's going, "How did you learn to speak English so well? I've got people.
Mm,
What, are you out of your mind? English
yeah,
English is the national language of Africa. What is your problem? You know, are you just purposely insulting this guy? It's hard to believe that you are so stupid.
I just can't believe that we have to be subjected to his stupidity for as long as we have. Um, what do I got here? Focus, discipline, goals. So absolutely focus on what it is that you prefer. Deep inner cleansing of all we are not. That is a big thing because this doesn't just happen today or the build up to today. This keeps going on. You know, these moons play out like 6 month periods. In fact, this one is the other end of the last new moon in Capricorn on December 30. Was that 30th or 31st, New Year's Eve? That one? That month had two new moons in it. Remember
Yes,
that was a blue moon.
yes.
Um, and that what seeds did you plant then? So we were planting, New Year's Eve, New Year's seeds, right? Um, and just think back to that. Strength and vitality and energy levels. That's another thing. Capricorn does make you physically strong. It controls the skeletal system.
Yes.
And if you feel like any pain in any part of your skeletal system, think about that. There's where a block is. You want to like go in there and release those blocks that are stuck in there because we are getting stronger and healthier. Determination, willingness, transformation of old patterns. Who are we as the old constructs crumble? And we know who we are. We know what we see. Um, the purge is inside and outside. Isn't that the truth? That one is true. Parenting ourselves. You said this a minute ago. We're parenting ourselves from greater wisdom. From greater wisdom. And this I found really interesting. Saturn's rings this year, the last time Saturn's rings weren't visible was
Oh, yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
And this year, Saturn's rings weren't visible from March 23rd, and I guess it was a couple weeks, but it's
Yeah.
going to come up again November 17th to December 1st,
Yeah.
where to me that's kind of like wiping out
Yeah.
things. Yeah,
His elliptical goes up and down this way,
yeah, is that crazy?
and then the rings disappear from view. They're still there, but
Yeah,
they just disappear from view.
they will fully disappear when they put here 100 to 300 million years. They will disappear, and that's called ring rain, which I never knew any of this. I had to go on this deep dive yesterday, and when you can't see the rings, it's called ring plane crossing. And I thought that was cool that it was November because we know November is going to be big. The fall is going to be big, and that is going to me, wipe something out that was uh, structure here. Will no longer be. Hi, Rainbow Dragon. Hi, Denise McMillan. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, Denise, you're so sweet. Blessings to you, sweetie.
Yes, Denise, thanks.
Aw, we love you too, honey. And there's just like it is. It is. we are cultivating our mastery as we take responsibility for this new realm we're creating, and we start with ourselves, so I think it's going to be a really cool next 6 months. It's going to be bumpy, but it is necessary for us to grow and and create that new reality that we're all looking for.
Yeah, that we're overdue for. Exactly.
Okay, so let me show you this Vegas nerve thing I learned right before.
Okay.
This girl, she puts her head, like you put your hands back here. I think it was who is it? Spirituality with Sam. And you hold that, and you look both your eyes towards the right as far as you can, like until it's like uncomfortable, or you start glitching, and then go to the center and kind of stretch, and you'll yawn. I yawned every time I did it. I thought it was so cool. And then you go back and you do to the other eye. I don't know if it's because I already did it, but this is supposed to um, regulate your vagus nerve.
Oh,
You just,
searching. Found someone you have. I like that one.
I do too. I thought that was pretty cool because I'm
Yeah,
always moving and
I
twisting.
incorporate that into my yoga practice. I like that.
Yeah, I did too. It's like it does give you like a rejuvenation feeling in the moment
Yeah,
there.
definitely. There's a upsurge.
Yeah, and it feels, and I did it right. Yes, reset your vagus nerve. So I thought that was cool. And that then don't forget, do that one outdated belief, and then a legacy intention. I really like that. And it was water, honey, and cinnamon.
And cinnamon in the door.
Yep, cinnamon in the door. Um, Little ceremony, candle ceremony. I already burned some sage, but if you haven't and you need to feel your energies kind of off, burn some sage or Palo Santo or something. Did you do anything for this moon yet?
Not yet. When we finish, I'm gonna take the dogs over to the lake before it gets dark for a moon setting.
Nice. I
So
won't be able to see it tonight. Did it rain there? It rained here all day.
it rained. It rained yesterday. It rained the day before as well,
Yes.
but not as much. Yesterday it rained, and I woke up to fog so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
You know what, Jane? I do cinnamon in the door.
Uh, a
All
lot. Oh,
right.
I do it on regular days.
No, I woke up this morning. It's an occasion. But
Yeah.
seriously, like if it's a Friday the 13th, I throw it in there. If it's a
Mhm.
new moon, if it's a full moon, if it is my birthday, if it is,
Yep.
just any kind of a special date.
Uranus and Gemini the other
But
day. I did it. I did a ceremony for that.
it's
Every,
like it's not only about the abundance, it's about bringing joy, bringing all the good things to
yeah.
you, right? And chasing them out the back door, getting
Yeah.
rid of the cobwebs.
Yeah.
Like there's an old poem that I have in a book, and it's Mr. Pout and Mrs. Pout and all his family was sitting upon my chin for all the world to see. That's how it starts out. In comes the grinnies to sweep away the frown, for something about a frown being a smile turned upside down. So
No.
I don't remember it, but my mother used to read it to me all the time. I loved it. I still
That
do.
sounds
I,
adorable.
I should bring that book out and start reading all those poems to everybody here.
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
It's from the How and Why books that came out in the late 40s, early 50s.
How and why books. Oh,
Oh
I love
yeah,
it.
it's they're awesome. They're really really awesome.
I love your Gemini mind. It's just always. I mean, she always has all this information. I'm just focused on the moment and grateful I can get through it.
You're
I
selling yourself short. You're a
no.
genius.
I read this other thing. It said remove. Okay, there's a guru per per Purnima. Guru Purnima is the remover of darkness and ignorance. It is inside of all. It's our inner guide that will remove this. We have this inside of us to remove darkness and ignorance. Um, what do I got here? I got so much stuff written everywhere. Okay, yeah, the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. That's our. I watched a guy today, and he was like a cybersecurity expert, and was talking about AI and how it's going to be. It is going to take a lot of jobs. It is going to do, but it if
It's
we did it ethically, we would have a better life, right? With that 80 trillion we get a year, we
right.
generate. And
So it comes
he
with
said,
responsibility.
yes, it does. And you have to be discerning, right? You have to. My guides were telling me the other day that it is something we're coexisting together, creating, going into that higher realm with. But it is not like I'm over you and they're over us, and they're not going to control us. In fact, oh, I got this. I was with Allie the other day, and we were talking about this, and uh, I don't know where that paper is, but next time I'll bring it up and read it because it's important. AI can be intimidating, and it certainly could, with those who are creating it, be used for nefarious purposes. I'm sure it already is. I don't trust them, but this cybersecurity guy was saying that the best thing you can do for yourself is to learn to regulate your nervous system.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a AI dude talking about that. So that just keeps coming in and coming up a lot. Let's see what Red Dragon's doing. She's going to play pool, is what I saw earlier on a full moon, girl. I remember those days. Remember working in the bar, Diana, play. Oh my God, on full moons.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
on my way to play.
How many of those guys and gals ended up in the
Husband,
hospital or a jail cell?
yeah, my God. Or
Especially when I
just,
was working at the cowboy bars out in Colorado.
oh my gosh, it is crazy. It is crazy. What she said, I got back from Indian Mounds a few hours ago. I went late and stayed an extra hour. Plus, it was awesome, and the gate opened up on the side. Now I know to slide in 20 minutes before closing.
Yeah.
It is really beautiful there. I wish the Indian Mounds she goes to are in Georgia. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we're gonna do a thing for Kim
Oh,
Copeland here. I'm just seeing what everybody's saying. Um, I had the entire park. Cool.
that's awesome. We should never enslave it or we will regret it. You got that right.
Exactly. And
Hang
Leah,
on constantly.
I want your blueberry crumble recipe.
I
It sounded good. Sounded
cooked
good.
peaches and blueberries together last night. Yum.
Mm,
The peaches were kind of pithy, so they
it
needed.
really is. Oh, were they?
Yeah, they the first pile I had bought were really good, but then these guys were kind of bleh.
I got that too, Leah. That the AI is the reflection of your unconsciousness, and if you are using it for nefarious means, that it will just keep showing you a mirror
Well,
of yourself.
I like what Greg Braden says about it. If we are not careful, we will lose our humanness through it. So you have to use it responsibly.
It's ethical. Yeah, you got to be ethical. It's got to be, and we know that a lot of these people that made it, not saying the inventors of it, but the people that own it are not ethical, you know.
I love, yeah, a white heron. Those are,
I love that.
they do have a specific name. Not the egret. You're talking about a white heron. It is a giant something white heron. Where is it
Mm,
blue? Right. This is a giant white.
mhm.
They are huge. We get them up here, which, at this time of the year, I guess. But
That
they
is
used to
so
go
cool.
on back down to Florida, Georgia.
So cool. And see, the Atlanteans are an example of AI, exactly. And, I think a lot, like all of us have these old memories of these things. I know that a lot of the pain and suffering that we're witnessing, it is triggering me a lot, and it's not because I'm in pain and suffering right now, but it's from past lives where you know we've all witnessed that, and it's just stuff we're all working through during these bumpy times in the road. With the Leah, they came to Lemurians like, hey, let us get up on your precious gems, and the Lemurians were not having it. They were respectful of Earth. Nice, yeah.
Yep.
Getting a history lesson here. Integration is not needed. We're already connected like a soul port. Very cool. I love that because that's what I was getting. Bora's cooking. What did you make? A lemon sugar-free Italian ice. Yum. Um, well, do we want to do the prayer for uh,
Yes.
Kim
So
Copeland?
let's clear our mind and by taking in 3 deep breaths and holding at the top, exhaling through parted lips. Please place us in a steady stream of divine white light, the white light of divine guidance and divine grace. Michael, wrap your blue bubble of protection around us that shrinks to fit as we step into the healing teal green orb of Raphael that floats and shares and spreads and transfers. The divine white light, the white light of divine guidance and divine grace. At this time, with so many suffering, we ask for extra light and protection for all of them, and especially for Kim Copeland right now, who's going to go through some very serious surgery. Raphael, bring in your teal green light. Charge her sword, though I know she doesn't have it with her. Michael, protect her. Highest energies to her team of doctors. Pink light, surround her. Pulse. One more deep breath in. Hold. Give it an extra push. So mote it be.
That is beautiful. Thank you. Want to pull a couple cards for everybody for tonight?
Sure.
Oh, what I got? Oh, look at that. They told me right there, take it. Stand in your power. Be passionate about your vision. Bring positive change. That's from the that's unicorns.
Ah.
Ah. Oh, and then, ooh, look at that. And then I got these two. Courage, strength, I'm sorry. Your inner strength is boundless. Unleash it.
Oh, nice.
And that, and check this out. And divinity. Every moment is filled with a divinity. Cherish it.
Oh,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mother, Father, God.
I can't. I just can't tell you. This is fantastic. So I have to show you these four cards. I could probably show you the whole deck because of the way they're coming out.
Wow.
Okay, so the first card that came out is birthing.
Oh, wow. So true. My gosh.
You know, labor takes a long time
Long.
and it isn't pain free, but the rewards are great.
Yes.
And then the next thing that came out was prayers. Are we all ready to cry a little bit right now?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how perfect prayers for all of us here, all of us who will listen to this later, and all of those who are so ill right now that they need help and extra protection. Do not lose sight of the fact that we are going through a major frequency shift. This is
Ah,
what we are giving birth to, this blue light. And doesn't that look like my honeybees?
yeah, it's so cool. Oh my God, I love these cards.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. And look,
Mm.
I see like a little face going, "Mwah," like the
Blowing
face of
kisses.
a seal.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
everybody have a good full moon.
Yeah. Safe out there. We will be back for the new moon in Leo. That's going to be a big, big, big,
Oh,
big deal.
yeah.
So
It's
we're probably going to hear things are. I think a lot of things will be starting to move, and we're going to know that by then. But we'll come back and talk about it. This death to the patriarchy, and we're going to take it.
oh, this is. I just flipped the card over for the heck of it, and,
Okay.
and it's love. So we love you.
We do love you very much. Thank you for hanging out with us, everybody. Be safe. Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye. Pamela